Tomorrow will be your second global tournament final in 15 months. How do the two compare?
Oh, good question. You might have to ask me afterwards. Hopefully tomorrow's final is not quite as tight as it was the last one. But yeah, what a brilliant year, 18 months it's been for the team to make another global final. It's a real achievement, I think, especially the inexperience, I guess, we've brought to this tournament. And the girls are massively excited. It's probably not been the smoothest ride to get to the final, but the main thing is we're here and we've got another opportunity to have a shot at winning a global trophy again, and what achievement it would be, how special it would be if we could be double white ball champions.
Are your feelings similar to the feelings you experienced 15 months ago, just right ahead of the final?
Well, to be honest, I haven't had too much time to think about it. Obviously, last night finished quite late, didn't get back to the hotel till about 12:30. And it's fair to say I was probably thinking cricket and dreaming cricket most of the night. Didn't manage to get to sleep till quite late. But yeah, looking back, I guess there'll be the same sort of excitement, the same nerves. But also there's the fact that we know we've been through that. We've won that final last year, and that'll give us real confidence. It's obviously a completely different format, different opponent leading into the final, and I think it's going to be a great game. And hopefully the girls can show the fight and resilience that we've shown throughout this competition and put in a real performance.
We've just been hearing from Meg Lanning about the kind of distinctiveness of the England-Australia rivalry. Would you go along with that? Is there something particularly potent about facing Australia in a final? Yeah,
I think you can't really ignore it. It's the old enemy, can you? It's probably the two best teams in the world historically over the last few years, and we've had some amazing games of cricket recently with that Ashes series that we drew out in Australia, and a really good sort of T20 series out there for us where we won 2-1, and the game to finish off the series was a real thriller. Obviously that chase that we did in Canberra, so all history suggests it's going to be a really good game, really tight game, and we're going to have to be at the top of the game. The Australians look very strong. They've played some great cricket this tournament, and I think it's going to be another brilliant day for women's cricket, and hopefully we've got similar crowds to what's been in the semi-finals yesterday.
9 years ago, England did the double Charlotte Edwards side in 2009. What would it mean to you as a skipper being able to be a dual world champion and repeat what England did in 2009?
It'd be really special. We look back at 2009 and that's a really sort of quality team in the history of women's cricket, and we spoke about that team. Some of the girls were obviously involved in that, and we've talked about emulating them, about the opportunity to do that. It doesn't come around very often, and I guess as a team it's our chance to really cement ourselves in history as a brilliant white ball format team. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for us, but tomorrow we've got to focus on all about the game, how we perform, how we carry ourselves, how we continue the good things that we've done so far in this competition. And if you sort of look after the processes, you're hopeful obviously that you put yourself in the best place to put in a good performance and get that result. So yeah, it would be very special if we were able to achieve that.
And what's the support been like from home? Did you wake up this morning with a slew of text messages from people who'd watched the game, whether it be other teammates or in Sri Lanka perhaps?
Yeah, lots of people stayed up to watch, which was really nice. I just sort of got people just waking up as I went to bed last night, so I was struggling to get to sleep. But the support from back home has been phenomenal. Obviously, you've seen the supporters out here, the friends and family, and they've really been a boost to us actually during the game. When you sort of look over and see them dancing to the very catchy "Watch This" song, it's been brilliant and a real sort of source of inspiration for us. And hopefully people will switch on again Saturday night back home, and hopefully we can put in a really good performance for them.
I'm sure you're not going to give me a team, but is there consideration of playing the 4 frontline tweakers in addition to yourself, given what we saw last night?
Yeah, look, I guess we'll consider it. The pitch looks quite similar. The groundsman has told me it might not turn as much as it did last night, but we'll have to wait and see. It does look very dry, and we expect quite similar conditions to what we had last night.
Did you know you were on a hat-trick yesterday?
Yes, I was aware that I was on a hat-trick, but best decision for the team was for Anya to bowl that over at the next end. So, yeah, obviously next time I come on to bowl, I'll potentially be on a hat-trick. So.
In men's cricket, men's T20 league cricket, there's a lot of emphasis on analytics. Has that come into the women's game yet?
Emphasis on what? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Analytics?
Analytics, yeah. T20 cricket is the most planned game. It's the most probably preparation that I put in as captain and as bowlers in terms of having quite a clear framework of how you go about things. You obviously adjust and flex to that during the game, but the coaches and myself and all the bowlers do a lot of work into looking at previous areas that batters score, things like that, and stats. Our analyst Chris Sykes has been outstanding. He put together a really good document leading into the tournament on certain statistics that might potentially help us out here. So I think T20's probably become the most analytical game in the way it's gone around the world, and yeah, it's quite interesting actually to look at some trends and try and incorporate that into your tactics on the pitch.
So you'd say no space for sentiment at all in today's T20 game?
It's sport, of course there's place for sentiment. At the end of the day, you can break a game down into as much as you can into analytics and statistics, but it's all about the players playing out there, the characters, the narratives that you get from sport and from cricket, and this tournament's been no different. That's what it's about. But it's about using the tools you've got at your disposal to try and write those stories and try and be successful.
Yesterday, how much of a factor was dew in the chase, and how much might that affect your decision should you win the toss tomorrow?
It was actually quite dewy when we were fielding as well, so it looks dewy for both teams out there. I don't think it will make too much of a difference, to be honest.
Do you think you need to do anything different tomorrow in terms of the way you played yesterday compared to the way that you're going to approach tomorrow? Or is it just a question of taking that same discipline through into tomorrow's game?
Well, we obviously have very clear plans for the Indian bowlers, and the Australian team will throw slightly different tactics and different challenges up for us. So for us, it's about adapting to that again. We know potentially how the wicket's going to play. And for me, I think the most pleasing thing, the two games we've had in this tournament that have been must-win, do-or-die games, we've put in outstanding performances. We've been really clinical, really sort of calm under pressure, and just done it in a sort of no-nonsense way and got the job done. And that's what tomorrow's about. We've shown some brilliant heart and some brilliant fight this tournament, and that's going to stand us in good stead. It might not win us the game tomorrow, but it puts us in with a really good shot. So there's always things you can improve on, even on yesterday, what was a very good performance. But yeah, we're going to have to put in a very strong performance and hope all facets of the game come together for us to win that final.
How satisfying was it yesterday adapting so much away from your natural game a little bit? But then would you prefer a pitch which allows you to express that natural game, or is it satisfying to get a win where you adapt and then come out with a win?
Yeah, I guess it was satisfying. I think the conditions were a hell of a lot like they are in India than they are in an English summer. So to beat an Indian side with an all-spin attack was really pleasing. The way our spinners bowled, I think, was outstanding. They out-bowled the Indian spinners. And yeah, look, it was a slow wicket. It was hard work. It might not have been the most interesting game to watch, I think. Sometimes the low-scoring thrillers can, but it was quite a tricky wicket for batters to go out and express themselves. But that's what we're going to face tomorrow, I think. I don't think it's going to change too much. And as a player, you played as a batter to score runs and as a bowler to take wickets, and regardless of the conditions, you've got to find a way to do that.
Lisa Healy's been the dominant player for Australia this tournament. Are you going to spend a bit of extra time coming up with plans for her?
Yeah, she's played very well. She's probably been the one opening batter that's been consistent throughout the tournament. And of course, we'll look at her. We'll look at all of their players. They've got a very strong batting lineup, a very deep batting lineup. So we're going to have clear plans in place that obviously reflect the conditions that we're going to face as well.
Heather, the ICC today announced that they're going to change the name of the ICC Women's World T20 to the ICC Women's T20 World Cup. You talked before about that consistency in naming and how it's always felt like a World Cup to you. Is that a move that makes sense for you?
Yeah, I guess so. It feels like any 50-over World Cup that we've played in. And that's what you want to be successful in as a player. You want to win World Cups and Ashes series. So, yeah, it's a good move, I think, to do that.
And just finally, obviously yesterday, massive day for the England team. But today even bigger because it's Mark Robinson's birthday. Have you got a message for Robbo, and how will you be celebrating his 51st birthday, I think?
Oh, he's not going to like you for mentioning his age, Henry. Yeah, well, he's been letting everyone know it's his birthday. So I actually didn't say happy birthday at breakfast straight away. So I think I've got a bit of a black mark in the book. But when we get back from training, we're going to arrange a little cake for him and a little bit of a get-together and a sing-song. So, yeah, I guess the ideal birthday present will be that win tomorrow night. All good? Cool. Cheers, guys.